Valley teenagers are accused of selling a 14-year-old girl for sex.
Hello and welcome to Fox 10 News at noon. I'm Rick D'Amico.
And I'm Alexis Del Chiaro.
The suspect's just 18 years old themselves. Alex Savage is live with the story.
And this is a very unique case. I'll tell you what, police say this is very unusual. They had an underage girl who was essentially being pimped out by two women. It all was happening in this apartment complex across the street from us here. Over the weekend, police moved in and they made two arrests here, 18-year-old Savoya Mansfield and 18-year-old Matique Johnson. Police say that they both met a 14-year-old runaway recently who was looking for a place to stay. Investigators say the two accused pimps forced this girl to sell her body, posting naked photos of her on an escort website. A couple of men came by this apartment looking for sex, but none of them went through with it in the end. And police say today they are very surprised to see two women forcing this girl into a life of prostitution.
I think we all have a mind of what a predator is in our own mind, and for the vast majority of us, I think it's probably some form of an adult male. In this case, this was two seemingly innocent-looking teenage girls themselves who took this girl in, allowed her to stay at their apartment for several days, and several days into it, after being friendly and gaining this girl's confidence and trust, explained to her, hey, you need to pay rent and you need to earn money.
And according to police, a couple of the relatives of that girl figured out she was being held in this apartment against her will, or staying in this apartment, I should say, and they notified police, and eventually that underage girl was rescued. And I asked some of the investigators today why this girl didn't just run away, why she didn't just take off, and they tell me that this girl was being intimidated, and the two women who were arrested were threatening violence against her family, and she was just too scared to make a run for it. Reporting live in Phoenix this afternoon, Alex Savage, Fox 10 News. A very unusual case. Phoenix police say this underage girl was being pimped out by two women. This girl was a runaway. She was desperate for a place to stay, but in exchange, she was forced to sell her body.
Predators can come in all shapes and sizes.
Police say these two young women took advantage of a 14-year-old girl and tried to make her a child prostitute. Officers arrested Savoya Mansfield and Matique Johnson, both 18 years old. Phoenix Police Sergeant John Howard worked on this case, and he says these accused pimps certainly don't fit the mold.
I think we all have a mind of what a predator is in our own mind, and for the vast majority of us, I think it's probably some form of an adult male. In this case, this was two seemingly innocent-looking teenage girls themselves. Police say they met the underage girl during a party at their apartment. The girl was a runaway and was offered a place to stay, but there was a catch. And several days into it, after being friendly and gaining this girl's confidence and trust, explained to her, hey, you need to pay rent and you need to earn money. Police say Mansfield and Johnson took naked photos of the 14-year-old girl and then posted them on this personal's website offering escort services. Several men came to this apartment looking for sex, but none of them went through with it. That the men actually looked at her, apparently realized her age, her young age, and turned her down. Police say this young girl wasn't locked up inside this apartment, but she was intimidated, her family threatened, and she was too afraid to make a run for it. After more than a week, the girl's family figured out where she was, and the would-be child prostitute was rescued. And police say the girl's relatives, her mom and her sisters, are the real heroes in this case who helped to bring her home safe. They just kept knocking on doors in that neighborhood looking for the girl, and eventually their digging paid off. Live in downtown Phoenix, Alex Savage, Fox 10 News.